What I would like for all of you to know is that the message of this YouTube channel being heard over seas and mountains means more to me than words could ever say. Because this YouTube channel is the one thing that's been constant in everybody's life. It's the one thing that's always helped people make sense of everything happening around them when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, their favorite franchises. There are so many people who love this YouTube channel so dearly with all of their heart. And that means more to me than words could ever say. And here's the thing. So many people are openly admitting that this YouTube channel with zero expectations is their favorite, and it's had such a cultural impact left in its wake. This YouTube channel's message of kindness has been seen and heard over mountains and seas because of you. It never happened because one guy at random woke up one morning wearing his Mickey Mouse slippers and said, okay, cool. I'm going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for what will become the rest of my life. This happened because you saw something special in the videos we created together, and it allowed my story to finally be seen and heard by more people than I ever thought that it would. I never thought that I would have ever been taken seriously by over millions of people who love Descendants and Zombies with all of their heart and had the chance to review events like the Worlds Collide Tour the way that I did. It happened because you guys welcomed me into this niche. So thank you from my heart to yours, because the way I foresee the future, we have so much to be excited about. We can sit here and criticize Kylie Contrell as often and as much as what we like, but Kylie Contrell really is a beautiful person. And I can say the same thing about Ruby Rose Turner because there was always something so special about seeing Kylie and Ruby together. And there was always something so special about seeing this new trio together, Red, Chloe, and Pink, because there's something so special about Pink too. I absolutely love how she just kind of randomly shows up and she just wants to have fun. She's all like, yeah, Pink is here to have fun in the middle of everything. And I love that so much when somebody can come in and do something so generally stupid, but always get over with fans. And people will love them for forever and always. I love these annoying characters who always have a tendency of popping up and doing something that leaves such a cultural impact in their wake. Because what that allows them to do is leave an everlasting impression on so many wonderful people's hearts. And I really do believe that some of the most wonderful people of existence exist from within this niche. Because every morning that I hear those birds chirping and they sing a beautiful song, because Descendants Wicked Wonderland is only about 8 days away now. That's something to be really excited about. We also have Camp Rock 3, which will be released for the first time ever globally on August 13th on Disney Channel and Disney Plus. So we have so much to be excited about in this upcoming summer because the summer only just kicked off. We have about 90 days left of the summer vacation. And I think the best way to spend summer vacation, the remaining 90 days, is to really love Disney with all of our hearts. And even if we don't love Disney, it's a chance to really fall in love with it all over again. And it's something I felt so honored to be here to cover because I remember when Camp Rock came out for the first time back in September of 2008. It was September of 2008 when I saw Camp Rock for the first time ever, and that really became the summer of my very existence. It was a summer I never forgot. I enjoyed being a part of because Phineas and Ferb had just came out. Phineas and Ferb was at the heights of its popularity. It was in its glee. Ashley Tisdale and Mitchell Musso were really making names for themselves. Ashley Tisdale, who just turned 41 the other day. Happy birthday to Ashley Tisdale, by the way. She was always one of my favorites. I remember her as Sharpay Evans in High School Musical. She was really a driving force behind why I loved High School Musical so much. Lindsay Lohan also celebrated her birthday, I think, around the same time. So Lindsay Lohan turned 40 the other day. Lindsay Lohan did a wonderful job in Freakier Friday earlier last year. And I always remember being a huge fan of her also. There were so many driving forces behind why I was such a huge fan of Disney, and one of the biggest driving forces happened to be this niche, a niche that I kind of just came upon after I felt like I fell down through the proverbial rabbit hole without ever having killed myself and ever injuring myself. I really feel like I fell down through that proverbial rabbit hole, and along the way I met so many incredible people. I can't say I ever had the chance to meet the Queen of Hearts because this Queen of Hearts is a very beautiful version of the Queen of Hearts. We can say what we want about Rita Ora, but she is a really beautiful version of the Queen of Hearts, and I've never felt so honored to, kind of cover the progression of her career and really see her come into her own because 20 years ago when she was writing music, she was writing very different music. And I think there were a lot of people who were left feeling very skeptical on the future of Rita Ora because she had these songs like How We Do, and nobody really wanted to understand her music or really give her a chance. And what she's become and what she's became is something that I will never ever forget because she's really become such a beautiful person, and her adaptation of the Queen of Hearts really was a beautifully done adaptation. I think there are so many people who took so much incentive away from her, and Brandy too, because Brandy did a wonderful portrayal of Cinderella. You know, there have been so many portrayals of Cinderella done over the years, but I think this one done by Brandy is probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And then seeing the daughters of Cinderella and, of course, the Queen of Hearts be so appropriately fitting of Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker having donned these roles, I don't think anybody could have ever done it as powerfully or as effectively as what Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker have ever been able to do. They've really brought these characters to life for a whole new generation to have kind of a drawn different perspective on the characters and what they meant to their classic fairy tales, because they were really classic fairy tales. You know, we can talk about Beauty and the Beast, and we can choose to talk about The Little Mermaid as often and as much as what we like. But these stories had such a classic twist put on them from Descendants that so many wonderful people took so much incentive away from it, drew so much inspiration from it. The colorful outfits, the colorful dresses, the beautiful music that told the story of these characters, because Red and Chloe never really had a story to begin with. They kind of just randomly show up. We open up The Rise of Red with this really interesting monologue done by Kylie Control about how Wonderland is just really messed up and all she ever wanted to do was to have the chance to paint Wonderland red. And when she finally had the chance to kind of break out of her realm and really come into her own, she had the chance to do everything that her heart ever desired and become the person that she wanted to become. And more so ever than before, this is going to be more evident in Wicked Wonderland because for the first time ever, Red is finally going to have the chance to have everything she ever wanted. But is everything she ever wanted really everything she ever imagined it would be? Or having altered the fabric of time and the consequences they are about to face everything they ever wanted, really? Or are they going to be faced with a fair share of challenges along the way to help them really appreciate what they have in front of them, which is a brand new sister? Of course, Red's mother now has been kidnapped by Maddox Hatter. So there's a lot happening here in this story that we never ever thought would have ever happened. Red and Chloe may have created a brand new villain who wants to obtain control of Wonderland. We have Chessie, of course, the inspiration from the Cherokee Cat kind of coming into this thing. His voice is really exuberant and really exciting. I really think that his personality really adds feel to this and really will help keep this one alive. And all the things that happen in this movie are going to be something to really pay close attention to because we're going to see plants try to kill Red and Chloe. We're going to see them take a ride on a teacup in the sea. There are going to be so many things that are going to be unpredictable that we never ever imagined would have ever happened here. So I think this is really going to keep us on the edge of our seats. Like the live action Moana is intending to do this coming Friday, which I will be attending as one of my latest red carpet premieres to go to. And I'm really excited to be heading out to this one for the first time ever because years ago, the thought of a Moana live action was really in our heads. It had been embedded in our minds from Disney. You know, why didn't they start making live actions on shows like Tangled and Moana? And they are finally happening. They are currently filming Tangled now, which is what I'm really excited about. And you guys don't want to hear the story about how I go to Tangled. Because when I go to the live action Tangled, man, I'm going there with light up signs and I'm going there with Star Wars swords and I'm going to be there like so happy to support Tegan Croft. I'm going to be there to be so happy to support one of your favorites, Milo Manheim, because some of you guys have the biggest crushes in the world on Milo Manheim. So I'm going to go there, you know, all crazy, so excited to see Tangled. You guys are going to want to be here to hear my reviews of Tangled, let me tell you that, because I always remember being so supportive of Rapunzel and her story because I really thought it was a beautiful story. I will never forget when her movie premiered at the Capitan Theater. Mandy Moore was so excited. Both Zachary Levi, who played Eugene, who was the voice of Eugene, and Mandy Moore, who was the voice of Rapunzel originally, were so excited for you to hear all this beautiful music like Now I Can See the Light and Wind in My Hair. And there was just something so special about the soundtrack and how the music could tell the story, about how two people were just meant to be together. They fit so appropriately together like Zed and Addison did from the Zombies franchise early on. And their story would go on to mean so much more to so many wonderful people than probably ever given credit for. It generated something like $50 million dollars on opening weekend. And I predict that Moana and the live action Tangled are going to do the same because there are so many people who can become identified through these character stories and just how beautiful they are. I mean, sure, yes, Dwayne Johnson is in like his 50 millionth movie, but there's always something so special about new actresses who play the roles of Rapunzel and Moana that are really special. And I, for one, believe that the girl playing Moana really has a chance. She really has a chance here to make something of herself, so she doesn't deserve criticism. I really believe Lindsay Lohan didn't deserve the criticism she received years ago because look what she did for Freaky Friday and The Parent Trap back in the early 90s. she became a superstar and she was well on her way to becoming a superstar, but for sure, people chose to come down hard on her and people really didn't want to give her much of a chance. But I saw the beauty that existed from within Lindsay Lohan. I saw the beauty that existed from within Ashley Tisdale because she was radiant. And I always wanted her to be supported in her dreams of having, all these foundations that she would support, all these dreams that she had because she wanted to raise awareness that there was something so special about her presence and her fashion sense that you just couldn't help but support Ashley Tisdale in. When it came to her dreams, I just wanted to be there for Ashley Tisdale, no matter how much money I had to spend, how much merch I had to acquire for High School Musical, how much love and support I had to show it. I always remember just wanting to be there, coming out swinging for people like Ashley and Lindsay every single time. No matter how many people chose to criticize them and come down hard on them, I always wanted to be there for them. And now in this generation, I feel so honored having the chance to be here for all of your favorites of this generation because this generation is so cool and so fun to be a part of. There's always something so special about opening up your studio window every morning and hearing the birds chirping because it's an indication that something special is on the way. Many of you probably don't know this, but there's an old folklore tale about how when you hear birds chirping every morning, and that is the reason why I have the window open every morning, that is a surefire indication that something special is about to happen. And I think in about 8 days from now, we are going to have the chance to experience something so special. I think it's about 8 days. July 16th is not that far off. So I think that Descendants Week of Wonderland is really going to be something so special for us all to take something special away from. So much incentive, so much creative energy. And I just feel so excited to be here to have the chance to experience all of this with all of you because I can go on for hours on top of hours talking about Descendants and Zombies and having these conversations with so many people from all walks of life who just want more to believe in than ever before. Because I know there are people who will often try to take away our hopes and our dreams and really every hope and dream we've ever had for Descendants and Zombies, but I felt so honored to be here just to help you make sense of everything that may be going on around you. Because when you can help people make sense of things like Descendants and Zombies, that's what makes what you do as a YouTuber for over 27 years in my case worth it every single time because there are so many people who I often remembered who never really wanted to give this one much of a chance. But then you see Kylie Control getting all upset, expressing her emotions to all of you guys on Instagram and TikTok live feeds. And I just really wanted to be there for Kylie to let Kylie know that, hey, everything was going to be okay. I know that your opinion on men was very different. Probably she would never want to give me a chance. But here's the thing. I really want to help Kylie Control make sense of her own life and everything happening around her because I know the pressure that she's dealing with is insurmountable. And I think until people can understand how much pressure she is actually under, they will never be able to have, fully grasp the appreciation that we have to have for people like Kylie and Malia who are going through a lot. I really believe that your favorites should enjoy coming to work and they should enjoy the atmosphere they have to create in because the atmosphere that you create in really means everything. It means everybody to the creative team. It means everything to the people who make up this cast, which is a very powerful cast. And I miss a lot of the cast members like China and McLean. I forever miss Ruby Rose Turner. And I just wanted to be there to support everybody who was relatively new coming in to kind of make up for lost time. Because it's kind of felt like forever for a lot of people since we've had a new chapter of Descendants. We haven't really had that much creative. We didn't have an animated series spin-off of The Rise of Red, but that is coming. It's called Descendants Hidden Heroes. So that is expected to be released sometime between now and the summer of 2027, the same year that Zombies 5 will drop. So we have a huge year coming up in 2027. So for at least the next 3 years, we have so much to talk about. And if we have further installments of Descendants, which I will begin talking about in the fallout of Descendants 5, because Descendants 6 is currently in development at Disney. They are writing the script and developing the next chapter. So there's so much to be excited about. That's expected to begin filming in 2028. So just to let you guys know a little behind the scenes facts, that's expected to begin filming in 2028. They are currently filming Zombies 5 and a new animated series called Descendants Hidden Heroes is on the way. So we have so much to be excited about. So if you've ever had a reason to go to Booster Juice and buy a fruit smoothie, then I think now is your time. And come back and drink that fruit smoothie, binge watch the entire Descendants and Zombie series, and prepare yourself for the inevitable, which is never going to be the end of time, but just really the beginning of something so special. Because I know there are so many people who will tell you to go buy a fruit smoothie or a sundae from Dairy Queen and come home and prepare for the conclusion of Descendants, which is only ever meant to be a duology. I think this one is meant to be so much more than just a duology. I don't know where people are getting these crazy analogies or thoughts that having these random thoughts that Descendants is going to be a duology now because of everything happening behind the scenes. Question. Were we there to know what actually happened behind the scenes? No, we weren't. We were fans who just wanted to show so much love and support for the people we loved. And what's so wrong with that? That didn't involve criticism. That didn't involve tearing them down and what they built up from the ground down. What that involved was showing so much love and support because you guys, I will forever and always believe, I don't care what other critics have to say or how they've been made to feel about Descendants of Zombies. What's made Descendants of Zombies so special on beautiful mornings such as this, what has allowed me to be here and sit in front of this microphone and record so many beautiful videos are all of you. Because you welcomed me into this niche and I felt incredibly honored just to be here to have the chance to share with you my thoughts, my theories and predictions, which became something so much more because I really feel like I got on the back of a white horse. And I've been walking through the forest of Oregon, riding that white horse, meeting so many wonderful people along the way. And every single time that sun comes up every morning and eventually sets on all of our lives, as we look at the same moon and the same stars, all I've ever wanted you to take away from every video that we created together, because this really is an art gallery, and what's become an art gallery allows people to walk through what you may create. And what I've created are a whole lot of predictions, a whole lot of analogies, a whole lot of theories that have came together and created something so special while I was on the back of that white horse. And while I was on the back of that white horse riding through the forest of Oregon and eventually had the chance to come upon Merlin Academy and Oregon Prep, I had the chance to meet so many wonderful people. I've never wanted to leave since, and I never did, and I've had no regrets. I've really had the time of my life because I know people look forward to these videos. You guys, as a result of that, will always have this channel. You will always have me, regardless of who comes into these franchises, who leaves it behind in their wake. You guys will always have me to help you make sense of everything going on around you, and that truly is something so special to my heart and has made what I've done in my case for over 27 years something worth living for. Thank you so much on a beautiful morning such as this, where again you can hear the birds chirping in the background, for joining me for this wonderful conversation we have once again had about Descendants of Zombies. I really hope that's not a zombie apocalypse apparently breaking out there. I may have to both. But thank you guys so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for always having a special place in your heart for Descendants of Zombies. I really hope that's not the midst of a zombie apocalypse about to begin. Thank you so much for always loving this YouTube channel with all of your hearts. I will see you guys in the very next video. Thank you so much for always having the time to watch these videos.